James Wiseman is sheer terror, and as of last night, became your favorite center's worst nightmare. As of last night, James Wiseman became the league's most incredibly destructive force. No rim is safe. It was but a short time ago that the future of the league was in question. This year's crop of rookies were considered to be the worst in recent memory. There just isn't enough talent, and this year's Warriors would be a 14th seed, watching the Lakers dominate the West. Whoa, that's a tall order for even the biggest skeptic. Fast forward 2 months, and the Warriors are a legitimate 5th seed, having beaten both the Lakers and Clippers, with both teams having full rosters, and continue to wash the remaining playoff teams in the conference. With the 5-man lineup of Curry, Oubre, Wiggins, Green, and Wiseman beginning to find chemistry, it goes without saying, the West of the league is in deep, deep trouble. There is no question at this point that Wiseman, this year's second pick, took those comments personally, and there's only one way to settle this vendetta: to completely obliterate every analyst's perception of what they thought he was and introduce the world to the real King James. Hey, what's happening everyone? This is Swish, and today I want to talk about the incredible performance of James Wiseman and the sound thrashing the Warriors have been providing to the rest of the league. So, how about that James Wiseman kid? Our Warriors' first-year player has all the makings of an absolute superstar. It wasn't but a few months ago that the Spurs attempted to trade LaMarcus Aldridge and the 11th pick for the rights to the 2020 second overall pick. No, really, this is not a joke. This was an offer rumored to have been fielded to the Warriors. This 11th pick turned out to be Devin Vassell. With their reputation on the line and looking to prove to the Warriors that they should have taken that offer when it was on the table, the Spurs marched into Chase Center. Even the media couldn't help but agree that Aldridge would teach Wiseman a lesson. Except that didn't go as planned, because the Spurs entered the arena with a lot more confidence than with which they left. As Wiseman proceeded to beat the brakes off the Spurs, his relentless attacks in the driving lanes left the Spurs nothing but a few bones to pick, and this crash course for the second pick ended up with the student becoming the teacher, thoroughly outplaying both the Spurs veteran and rookie. Cleanup in aisle 3. It would be an understatement to say the Warriors would have lost that trade. For the first time, Warrior fans were treated to Wiseman being utilized as a core piece of our offense, and the team came away with easily one of the best overall performances by our starting 5 since the beginning of the season. Everything seemed to be working as Wiseman was being sought out by his teammates, specifically Steph and Dre, and had one incredible finish after another. Just when you thought the highlight reel was over, James would slam home another dunk, further demoralizing a team that could do literally nothing to stop this savage assault. This brutal beatdown was not without its hiccups, however, as our second unit had a bit of a rough time holding on to the margin handed off by the first unit. The double-digit lead the Warriors had going into the second quarter quickly withered as Pascal and Damian Lee were unable to get going. The return of Wiggins in the second quarter managed to stave off a run by the Spurs. This was followed up with the return of Wiseman and Steph to the lineup, and the Bay 5 boys brought the California heat. The next 6 minutes saw a searing hot surge by the home team. Basketball court was in session, and the Spurs offense was under arrest. At the other end of the floor, the Warriors waged all-out war with a devastating sequence of attacks on the Spurs defense. Overhead lobs sent the hapless defenders ducking to avoid a career-ending catastrophe. Threes were flying in from every angle, and in between, the chef would serve extra spicy, pan-seared fillet-ups at will. This was a massacre. The Warriors won this game with their extraordinary defense, holding the Spurs to a baby-rocking 12% efficiency from 3, hitting just 4 of 33 and 37% overall. The home team also grabbed 44 defensive boards compared to the Spurs' 31. While this alone is enough to suffocate any opponent, the Warriors went on to put up 31 assists compared to the Spurs' 17. To make this stat even more eye-opening, the Spurs had 33 assists just the game prior against the Portland Trail Blazers. This means that we were shutting down passing lanes, forcing them to isolate and settle for bad shots. The Warriors meanwhile shot 50% from the field and 40% from deep, hitting 15 of 38 three-pointers. The Spurs tried everything to stop Curry today, but nothing seemed to work. The man-on-man defense wasn't good enough, and the box and one failed in spectacular fashion, as Curry would attack in transition, giving them little time to formulate their defensive stance. I'm waiting for the triangle and 2 defense next. Curry came within 3 assists of a triple-double in tonight's outing, dropping 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists on 4 of 8 from 3 in just 31 minutes on the floor. That's 2 nights in a row that Curry scored 26 points, dished 7 assists, and was the stat leader for both teams in both points and assists. Curry is not human. James Wiseman, who outscored both LaMarcus Aldridge and Devin Vassell, took just 25 minutes to jam 20 points through the rim, collecting 6 rebounds and dishing out more assists than the entire Spurs starting backcourt, or any individual Spurs player for that matter. Don't forget, he's only 19. Hi, Celtics fans. But not enough can be said about this dominating performance of Wiseman over the Spurs front court. This for sure has skyrocketed his stock, and in less than 15 games, rookie Wiseman is doing to NBA bigs what he was doing to his weak college competition. This kid is only getting warmed up, and I can't wait to see what's in store for us in the playoffs. Draymond Green was instrumental for us as well by setting up Wiseman and piloting a number of drives to the basket, catching the Spurs players completely off guard. Dre finished with 9 points, 6 assists, and a bevy of offensive and defensive coordination that you won't find in any box score. And Kelly Oubre is definitely heating up out there, knocking down 50% from 3. Yeah, he only had 4 attempts, but that was all he needed. His out-of-nowhere putback dunks get me every time. He had 16 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block in 31 minutes to help put the Dubs in the win column. Wiggins was that real Swiss Army knife that did a bit of everything. He shot the 3 well, dished out assists, and well on his way to making that all-defensive second team. Wiggins had 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists on the night, going 3 of 5 from distance. Despite having to battle a lot of negativity on social media, with many considering him a bust by citing his lack of living up to the expectations of a #1 pick, Wiggins is still a very valuable starter and has given the Warriors the punch they needed at the small forward position. A winning culture does wonders, doesn't it? Unfortunately, our bench couldn't seem to get into a rhythm, and while they had always been dependable, both Pascal and Lee seemed to have an issue finding the basket and struggled on defense. Lee ended up getting ejected after a flagrant 2 foul for a challenge on a fast break layup attempt by Keldon Johnson. Lee ended up putting quite the smackdown on Johnson, literally rendering him unable to finish the play, despite Lee having been nowhere near the vicinity of the ball during the mid-air melee. With our 8-6 record, we take on the Knicks tonight. Don't miss the matchup of James Wiseman versus Mitchell Robinson. Thanks for checking out my channel. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Till next time, swish.
A block so hard, sweaty get served. Call me Lonzo Ball, bitches get swerved.
Usually I don't get down with these girls, but tonight it's on my mind, so I might eat these words. I just wanna